Hi.
Hi, everybody.
We're
Um,
here.
we're here, yeah, sort of. I
We
see
don't
there's a
know.
lot of people in here. Yeah, we don't know how long this is going to last.
So I was
Can
reading
you?
comments as we were, yeah, maybe could everybody just let us know if, or somebody let us know, is the sound and the picture okay before we continue? Oh, and there goes Noelle. Uh, this is getting worse every week. This should be getting better. It's getting worse. So sorry. Where'd you
Okay.
go?
I don't know. I don't know. This is not easy. Okay, I can either look or hear. Not hear. Read. Anyways, you can read the comments. So, can everybody hear us and see us? I guess that's the first thing.
Mary's waving.
Okay.
Um, Sound and picture is good, or it
Okay.
was good before you disappeared. So hopefully we're okay. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for waiting for us again. I was trying something new again with the internet. It was probably my fault. It wasn't working.
You have to get your internet. You're like
I don't
I
know what to
know.
do. I literally don't know what to do. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat. We are knits and pieces.
Yeah.
Late again. Um, and I'm Kelly. This is
I'm
Noelle.
Noelle, yes, and I'm
And
having a hard time
this
knowing where
is,
I should be sitting.
well, you're not in the, there you go.
Okay. Okay.
This is our very informal, always chaotic,
Yes.
usually riddled with technical difficulties. Tuesday Night Knit Chat. This is not our normal podcast. This is just a fun group that we get together with and knit and find out what you're up
Yes.
to and see what you've been doing this week and
Just a
see what you've
fun
got
group
on your
that we
needles.
get together with.
Oh, now I got an echo in the background. Just a minute here.
Knit and find out what you're up to.
Turn that girl off.
I did. I did. That's the only way. That's the only way I can read the comments. Is I've got. And I'm not in the picture again, am I? Did I?
You're going the wrong way.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Stay there.
Okay. I've got my computer on in the background to read the chat and my iPad in front of me to see the picture.
Okay, now add knitting to that.
Not possible. Not possible. So
I'm so thankful
anyway,
that everybody in the group knows everybody else now and that we've been doing this long enough. And I was having a lot of fun just watching you guys chat amongst yourselves. So it's great that you can all entertain. Noelle, you missed this part, but somebody, I think it might have been Julia, suggested that she now hears the song Laverne and Shirley in her head when she thinks of us.
oh great.
So that's great, I think, Julia. I don't know. But
Well,
anyway,
Kelly, we could just change the name of this to Shift Chat.
shift happens on the daily around here, it appears, and it certainly happens every Tuesday night. So
I know because I checked this camera this morning. What time did I text you at? Like 8 o'clock to say that I got everything
yes,
working
earlier than
this
you should have been
morning.
texting me.
Why were you not up?
I was up, but
I
not
figured you had
thinking
to go
about
to work.
technical things. Yes.
No. Anyway, so it was working and it was working fine. And then in tonight, and it's yeah. Anyway, we're here for
We're here
how long
now.
we don't know.
We're here now, and it's so nice to see everybody, and it's
Hi
good to be
everybody.
here.
Yeah, and for anybody that's new, we can say that this doesn't normally happen, but actually it normally does. So
You know what, Noelle? Next Tuesday, let's just do this together. Like, let's get together. I think we can now. We can get together now, right?
I don't know. I'll have to look at the rules.
Okay.
I'm not sure. They're changing constantly. So
If we can get
anyway,
together, then
but
that
you
might
know
be a
what?
better
Like
option.
this worked so well for a couple
So
of
long
times, and
until it
then
didn't.
well, yeah, but I don't know if it's internet or what's going on. I don't know, does the heat affect the internet?
Maybe in Courtright.
I know sometimes rain does. If it's damp, it'll affect it a little bit, but I didn't know whether heat did or not.
Okay. So
So
Barb is saying that 5 are now allowed indoors.
oh, okay.
So
Okay.
if that's the case, then that might alleviate some of our problems. Maybe.
So yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Shift happens. Oh, speaking of shift happens, I finished it.
It looks awesome. I love it.
So this was the one I had the yarn for it last week. So I decided that I wanted a finished object. So I decided that I'd work on that and get it done. That's the yarn.
That's the yarn. So,
yeah.
Well, you have yours knit up, so I knew you wouldn't be able to show it. So I pulled mine out. So this is the Schopel edition 3. And whoops, there we go. So that's what it looks like. It's pretty, I don't know. What's the word? It's
barber pole.
Barber pole. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's pretty reasonably priced. This was $16 a skein, and you used
3.
Yep.
Just like I think the original pattern calls for 3 of the spin cycle. Spin cycle has a little more yardage. I used 3, and I think of 2 of the colors, I had 6 grams left, and one of the colors I had 8 grams left. And that's, they're 50-gram balls. I believe they have 150 meters per ball. And I think spin cycle is 200 yards. But mine, you were saying yours that you thought the neck was a little wide. Like I knit a little bit tighter, and I didn't do a gauge swatch, and I went with the needle recommended in the pattern, which was a 3 3/4 millimeter. And so I think this across the top finish is supposed to be 26 around, which would be like 13 across. And I think mine's only 24, but when I put it on, it actually fits perfectly.
Okay. I should measure mine and see what it came up as. Because I don't remember. I wasn't terribly concerned about gauge when I did that, and I know that I didn't use the recommended yarn either, so I wasn't too concerned. Donna's asking to show it again, so I hope you meant the cowl, Donna. And
the cowl there's the cowl.
Okay.
And somewhere, I don't know where, somewhere, and I've tried to find it and I can't find it since, but somewhere I thought I had read that it was recommended when you pick your 3 colors that you pick a dark, a medium, and a light.
Yes. You did read that somewhere because I remember that, but I don't know where I read it either.
And so that's what I did. So I kind of looked at the order, like I looked at Andrea Mauer's pattern and looked at her 3 colors and kind of figured out the order of which was A, which was B, and which was C. Mm-hmm. And then you do kind of get like the faded look, right? So it started with like the dark green background into like kind of the orangey reddish, and then it went into the lighter, more pastel-y background.
Right.
And then you kind of get that. Maybe that's why she called it shift. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because it shifts the colors. I don't know. But anyway, so I found that did work really well to get your contrast and have your blips really show up nicely. So, and I followed the pattern exactly. Now I know I got my yarn at Little Red Mitten, and I know they had some done, or they had one done, and they had used the 3 balls, and they said to get it out of the 3 balls, they had to leave off the last 8 rows of the pattern. But I didn't find that.
But you had a little left over too.
Yes, I knit tighter, so mine was probably a little smaller. But I wasn't even close to where I was worrying about running out of yarn. Mm-hmm. So,
okay, and I've lost it. It was further up, but no. So it's not a Zauberball. It's actually I'll get the label this time. It's called Schopel Edition 3.
Okay, but Schopel is the company because Zauberball is Schopel.
Okay, but Edition 3 must be the name of this yarn.
Yes, and then they do have Zauberball, and then they also have Zauberball Crazy, which looks more like that, except that's a sport weight, and the Zauberball Crazy is a fingering weight.
Okay.
So, and it comes in actually 100-gram balls. But if you look on Ravelry, there are lots of people that have done the shift cowl with the Zauberball. Mm-hmm. So There's
And
lots of choices.
was it? Oh, I'm just trying to think. Who did this already in our KnitChat? Benta used
Yes.
a variegated yarn that was
Yes.
similar from a different company. Yeah. And I thought there was somebody else that, I'm just forgetting now, that made another shift cowl, and it turned out really well too. So there's so many different types of yarns that you could use in that particular pattern. And somebody told me on Instagram, I'm not going to remember any names, so I'm not even going to try. Somebody today pointed out, or maybe yesterday, pointed out that she heard a rumor that Andrea Mowry is working on a shift cardigan.
Yes, I heard that.
So I'd be really interested.
What's the difference? Like you could do the shifty sweater and just steek it.
True, but maybe there's more to it. Maybe it isn't just all shift. Maybe there's
maybe.
But it'd be kind of nice. Remember, you had the idea to make sweaters for the girls, for your granddaughters, and you were just going to do some shifty, like a shifty yoke, and then a plainer body, and that would look really nice on a cardigan, like for our size, not just your little granddaughter size too. So
well, and actually, to do a cardigan, really, if you were just going to do it with it in the yoke, I might not even steek it. I probably, because it's not that hard to do that pattern back and forth. Like you do it back and forth in the night shift cowl or the night shift shawl and the cowl, right? So it's only the sweater and the hat that you're doing it in the round. So you could do that and then not have to worry about the steeking.
Okay. Okay, we've got some new people joining in. We've got Knitting Mama from Western Australia. Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Welcome.
Somebody I follow on Instagram is saying that the weather's been kind of not pleasant right now in Australia, but I guess it's your winter, right? It's our summer, it's their winter. We're always opposite.
Yeah. We're getting a taste of, I'm sure it's not as bad as what it's like in BC, but the last couple of days have been pretty hot here. So I feel for the people in BC.
Julia says that Andrea mentioned it in her podcast. And
okay.
I think that her podcast is called I'll Knit If I Want To. And she puts some really useful tips in her podcast too. And sometimes she just answers some questions that people have, which I always like. It's interesting to get into the mind sometimes of a designer. And what else do we have?
Oh, we have Mary says she likes the idea of the little girl shifty. So I even
she has 3 granddaughters to knit for.
I've got enough left of the amounts from the shift cowl that I actually could do one of them a hat and just use a plain color for the background and then put those 3 different colors in for the blips.
That would be really pretty too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I did
for the hat pattern
for the hat, right? For the hat pattern. Yes. Right.
Well, the hat pattern is a base and then it just has, I think like her original pattern, I think she just used 1 skein of the spin cycle. But still, like those colors all go together, so you can just put all your different blips in, right? Different colors. It's a good way to use up lots of bits and pieces of different yarn that you've got left over. So
maybe one of these weeks, maybe next week, we should bring all of our shifty projects to KnitChat and then show them, because I find that we talk about them every week and mine are never in arm's reach. They're elsewhere in the house. So
I saw, I don't know if you saw on Instagram, Jacqueline started hers.
Yes. And very neutral. And it's so nice.
I know. I was surprised. I thought, I can't believe I actually like neutrals that much, but it looks really nice and it'll go with everything.
Now, I wonder if at some points it's going to get a little tricky. And the reason I ask that is because the one that I'm doing is I'm using colors 7 and 16, I think. And one is a beige. And then the other one has the oranges and pinks and some beige in it as well. Well, there've been a couple of times already in my night shift where I'm working beige on beige.
Okay.
And it gets a little bit like you have to really pay attention to what color ball or which ball that I'm pulling from when I'm doing it when both colors are so similar. So she'll just have to be cautious. But at the end of the day, does it really matter anyway?
No, I know, because you're wrapping it all around here and it's that you're still going to have, even if the colors are similar, you're still going to have the texture. Right. So, and plus that yarn that yarn itself is kind of textured, like it's not a smooth,
No.
like a smooth all over yarn. So I think, I don't know. I think it'll still look good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Barb wants to know if anyone has used Cascade 220 for it yet. I don't know if I've seen anybody in the group, but Cascade also has a yarn that's similar. Do you know the name of it, Noelle? I just saw it last week, but I can't remember the name.
It's Wave or something. Cascade Wave.
And it's kind of similar to the type of yarns that we've been using. So I think that might work really well.
Is it that, like I know the Wave one came in fingering weight. Did it come in a
There's one that I saw
worsted?
when I was at a yarn shop.
Okay.
Imagine that. Last week I was at a yarn shop and I saw a Cascade. I thought maybe it was some kind of a heritage print or no. Okay. Wave DK, Barb is saying.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I think that would work really well too, because the pattern is written for a worsted, but it's a shawl. So literally, if you just downsize a little bit to a DK, I don't think you would have a problem. Your shawl may end up a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But if you had a little bit more yardage, you could just continue doing repeats. Yep. There's no reason to stop or start. There's no pattern that requires you to do that. You could just keep going, make it as large as you want. You can make a blanket.
Yeah, even if you end in the middle, you don't have to. I can't remember on the shift, on the night shift, whether it was sets of 5 blips before you changed.
Yes.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you've only got 2, it doesn't matter. You're just still,
That's right.
all you need to do is make sure you leave enough for your I-cord bind off.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I can't remember. See, I forget already. Was the I-cord bind up on the night shift?
Yes.
With 2 colors? Was it with 2 colors or just with
one?
No,
I think it was just one color.
Okay, because on this one, it's with 2, right? At the end of this. So you're yeah.
And that's nice how yours finished up with such a color difference. You really get to see that on your I-cord.
Yeah. Yes. But I mean, you could do that with the night shift shawl too. If you had, so much of one and so much of another, you could bind off the I-cord using the 2 colors. Mm-hmm. If you didn't have enough left of just one color. So anyway. Okay, so Mary said she used Cascade in the shawl, but did a light worsted weight shifty shawl.
Okay.
And Trudy says she used Cascade Wave and it worked out great. Well, definitely you could use the Cascade
absolutely.
Wave. Definitely you could use the fingering weight one to do the shift, the cowl, mm-hmm. for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone was doing a night shift shawl in fingering weight, because I had responded to her saying like how wide across my shawl was, and my shawl's pretty wide. It's like 72 inches across. So mine is slightly bigger, but I really blocked it aggressively. It's slightly bigger than what Andrea Mowry's measurements are.
Yes.
So it's slightly bigger and slightly deeper.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're doing that in fingering weight, that's going to be a lot of stitches by the time, if you're going to go to get that size of shawl, but you don't have to have that size of a shawl.
No.
No. Like smaller than that would still be a pretty serviceable shawl to use. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Michelle said she used Noro Akari and Shweep. I can't say that. Shweep. Anyways, the S yarn.
Oh, shifty sheepies.
The shifty yarn, the shifty stone washed XL. She says it washed nice, but it's a bit heavy.
Heavy,
and
not
thick.
As drapey.
Well, I think, isn't it? I think it's a cotton. So it's more like 100% cotton, which is going to be fairly heavy.
Yes, I know that yarn gets used a lot. People are making Afghans with it, and it's a common yarn to use for that because I think it wears really well.
Yes, yeah,
but it would turn out. But I would be okay with that because I don't know about, like, even though we have our night shifts, I don't wear it a lot as other shawls I would just put on, like maybe with a denim jacket, and I would throw that on, or I would use it with my winter coat. I find that shawl is actually so big. That's what I commonly refer to as one of my house shawls, right? So I'm wandering around the house with it. I like to take it outside. It's nice. It's big enough if you're traveling. It's one I like to take traveling because you can use it as a lap blanket on a plane. But it's big. It's a substantial shawl. So
yeah. Well, I took it this weekend when we were away with my son and daughter-in-law and 2 granddaughters, and I took it, and a couple of nights it was cool, and I was sitting outside and I just had it to wrap around my shoulders, and it was easy to just throw it in the car when we're ready to go. And
well, because of the silk in it and the cotton, it's not overly heavy in the Akari, right?
No.
And actually, when I was at All Strung Out, which is a yarn shop in Guelph, they had a sample made up, and they used a different Noro yarn that I haven't seen yet. And Takumi, Takumi.
I don't know. I've seen it done in
Takume, I think.
What was the
composition? I knew you were going to ask me that. I didn't go back and look at the balls. I was looking at the sample. Okay. It was more vibrant. It was definitely more vibrant than the Akari. And it had a more uniform. I would say it was like closer to this, like that level of intensity and the sharpness in the colors. So it made it looked very similar to your cowl when it was done. But that would be another option because it came in the very big balls as well. So I still think you would only need the 2 to do an entire shawl.
I've also seen it done in Noro Ito. Ito it's 100% wool.
It's that wool, right?
Yeah. Yep. And it's nice, but it would definitely be like a wintry type shawl. And I do think its yardage is a little bit less. You can still do the whole shawl with 2 balls, but the yardage is a little bit less than the Akari. So it is kind of a bit heavier. So.
And Elizabeth is saying that there's a Queensland yarn that's similar to Spin Cycle.
Okay.
I think it's a little lighter because I was looking at that last week too. By the way, it was so freaking exciting to be out into a yarn shop, Noelle. I could hardly contain myself. I felt like I should sit on my hands because, I just wanted to like squeeze everything in there. It was so exciting. It's been so long since I've been in a yarn store, and it was amazing. So I did see this Queensland, but it was because I picked it up, and because I'm thinking all things shifty right now too, like because it's on the brain. We've got so much feedback coming in with that. So I picked it up, but I think it's a little bit lighter, Elizabeth, than maybe. Well, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, maybe not. Maybe it would be similar, but this would be a sport weight.
Yes. Was it called Perth?
Maybe.
Because there's Queensland Perth, and it's definitely a soft weight, and it's definitely a little bit finer than that. But it does come in 100-gram balls. But Queensland also has other brands too, and I think they're named by like Australian cities.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've done a hat in one of them, and I can't remember what it was. Brisbane, maybe. But it was definitely more like an Aran to a chunky weight. So, and I think there might be other ones in between. But it does have that Barber Poli effect to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
it was really pretty. Kathy bought a dress pattern today.
Wow.
I bought some dress fabric today, Kathy. I stopped in to buy a zipper, and I walked out with 2 garments worth of fabric because that is what we do. I kind of pointed a finger at one of the ladies at the store, and I said, "You're an enabler," because I was there on Saturday and I was thinking about it, and I walked away. I behaved. I walked away, and I went back today, and it was still there. I bought what was left. I really liked it. So I said, "You're an enabler." And I said, "I only came in for a zipper." She goes, "Well, if that's all you got out with, then you're doing all right."
Yeah,
I didn't get out that light-handed in Guelph. So.
Okay. Kim says, if you don't mind U.S. yarn shipping, check out Feederbrook yarns. Feederbrook Farms. I think it's Feederbrook Farms. Their yarn is very nice, and it does look similar to the Shifty. Like, what's the Shifty one again? I lost. Mine's gone. What am I thinking of? Spin Cycle.
Spin Cycle.
It does, and that's actually the yarn I did that Western Rose by Tia Coleman, and all the flowers around the bottom. That was in the Feederbrook Farm. I bought a couple of skeins of it a couple of years ago when I was at Rhinebeck, and it is very nice yarn. And I actually did see it at Vogue. At one of the booths. I can't remember what, but yeah, it's nice yarn too. So that's a good website to check out too. I'm not sure of the prices. I know it was reasonably priced when I bought it at Rhinebeck, but I wasn't paying shipping charges then either. So, but yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of different ones that you can search out that I think your finished garments look just as nice if you use Spin Cycle. And I mean, Spin Cycle is beautiful yarn to use. Like I do have a couple of projects in it. I just can't afford it for everything.
No.
So,
and I love the concept of it so much. So if I can have multiple projects and that concept of a yarn at a little bit of a lower price point, then I don't feel that I have to limit myself on how many of those projects I have. I feel like I can keep shopping because I can find it at a lesser price. I can get more.
Well, it's the same thing if you're going to do something for like granddaughters when you know that it's only going to fit them for one season. Probably you're not going to spend $42 on the contrast color for the top of the sweater.
That's right.
So, but anyway, hopefully whatever I knit myself is going to fit for ever.
Well,
but
realistically, what you knit for your or for yourself, you could probably pass on to your granddaughters when they're 6, when they're your size.
Probably, I swear. Rachel's just got some new, and their feet aren't that big, but I remember, like, it didn't take Jacqueline very long till her feet were bigger than mine. I think grade 2.
Okay, but you can wear children's size 4, Noelle. That's a pretty small foot. Anyway,
but
you're an elf.
Anyway, Rachel's doing a baby sweater right now in it's a Cascade yarn, Cascade Anchor Bay, and it's 50% cotton, 50% merino, and it's gorgeous. Well, that was the yarn that I used when we did that little
yes, you did the dude.
Yes, the little dude.
The dude cardigan.
And it's for like baby clothes. It's a worsted weight for baby clothes. It just is so soft. It's washer and dryer, and they've got gorgeous colors in it. So I know I've got a couple of babies that I've got to do some knits for, and I think I might pick up some of that to do something. Because I'll hand wash stuff, but all new moms are not going to hand wash stuff.
No.
So better that they have something that can just go in the washer and dryer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sarah just joined us. She's late because hubby and she are putting in a patio and it's a ton of work. Well, Sarah, I am thrilled that he gave you the night off so you can come and hang out with us.
I can't believe you're doing it in this heat, doing outside work in this. So,
well, my husband spent the weekend hauling after he got rid of the 2 piles of clay because we did some work on the front of our house, and so we had to dig down quite a bit. So he got rid of the clay, and he's been hauling out topsoil, and he's got the whole front yard leveled again, reseeded. Now he's watering furiously. The garden is put back together. And I was going to help him. I meant to help him. I helped a little bit, and it was too stinking hot this weekend. I just couldn't do it. So I couldn't do it.
So I know I've been outside like after 4 o'clock, but before that, it's just too hot to even sit out there in the shade. So.
Oh, good night, Glenda. She's got to head out. She's up at 3 a.m. Oh, goodness. And it's already 20 after 12. Glenda, that's not even 3 hours of sleep. Get to bed, lady.
That's right. I would not survive.
Oh, goodness. Thursday, it's supposed to cool down. I can't believe we're complaining about the heat, but.
I thought it was supposed to cool a little tomorrow.
Yeah, but limited degrees. Limited degrees. All I know, I'm BC bound in under 2 weeks, and that nasty heat wave you have out there better be gone because my daughter's house does not have AC, and I'm not going to like it. So, just saying, weather gods.
Well, there's a lot of people out there.
Calm yourself down out there. Like a lot of people because it's not normally that hot.
That's right. So Mary says they're mid-30s. Oh, Luana wants to know what you're wearing, Kelly.
A summery shirt. Nothing I made, that's for sure. It's pretty though. I found it in my closet. I don't think I've ever even worn it. I've always liked the color, and then I put it on and I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling it because it's kind of got these like batty wing things that go down all the way. So I don't know. It's a little ruffly, but I don't know. It doesn't look bad on camera. Still looks nice.
No, looks good. Yep.
Still flying my pride flag behind me here because even though June is over, no reason to rush it out of the studio. I like it back there. So I'm just going to leave it hang out for a bit. Mid 30,
Okay.
Mary says in BC.
Yeah.
Well,
And Kim says it's going to be 110 in Northern California. Wow.
Gosh.
But I wonder if all that heat is moving this way. So we'll see.
Well, we have AC. I'm fine. And down here in the basement, it's always a couple of degrees
Well, we have
cooler.
AC and it's fine. We're actually watching my son's dog this last couple of days, and she loves to be outside, and it's so flippin' hot out there. And she's like a black dog. I can't believe she's not boiling. But she'll go out and she finds a tree and she sits under the tree and she doesn't want to come in. And I'm constantly bringing her water, and I'm like so worried that she's going to get overheated. So I dragged her in the pool a couple of times. She didn't really like that, but she sort of
she did it?
Well, she goes over and she's kind of like, well, I sort of want to go in, but I don't really want to go in. But so I'm like, you're going in. So anyway.
Oh, Valerie runs her AC 11 months a year, but you're in Texas, Valerie, I think.
Florida?
No, I think she's in Texas.
Okay.
11 months a year. But I bet your heating bill is cheap, right? It's a trade-off.
Yeah. Well, maybe they don't have furnaces.
Maybe they don't need them.
Yeah, she's in Austin, Texas. I don't know why I thought Florida. Yeah, Sarah says she thinks that the heat's supposed to dissipate as it comes across. Well, that's good. So, like, I mean, I like it warm and I like the summer, but not so hot that it's like unbearable to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's okay if you get a nice breeze once in a while. To cool a dog, you can just get their feet wet. Okay, that's good to know. I'll just put her on the top step. So it's funny because we had a dog for 15 years, but then when you haven't had one for a while, it's hard to get used to one being in the house again. And she's not that familiar with our house because, I mean, we've been in a pandemic for a year and a half and she hasn't been over here. So
yes, but you know what? It's probably a lot like babies. Okay, Noelle, I can say this to us because we are ladies of a certain age. So we raised our children at a certain time and we did certain things. And now babies, there's a whole different set of rules for babies.
Oh, I know.
Things that we wouldn't have cared about, and we did. And now Google says we must not. So
I know. I don't know.
Coming, I feel like I should be studying because it's like starting over. So it's probably the same thing for dogs. You know, you had a dog, I've had dogs, and we knew what to do. But now there's all these different rules. What was the crazy rule that we talked about not too long ago that dogs can't eat? It's toxic because a grape. I didn't know a dog couldn't eat a grape.
I don't know that I knew. I know that now because all my kids have dogs, but I don't know that I knew that when we had a dog.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that when we had dogs, it may or may not have eaten a grape. I don't know. We had kids. There was always something in the kids' hands. There was probably grapes. Grapes were like a thing, or cut up grapes at least, right? At least I knew to cut a grape in half and not give it to a baby whole.
Yeah. Well, I know because like, and even now with the kids, like they hardly get juice. Yet our kids had like apple juice and orange juice all the time.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah,
our kids didn't have much juice.
Oh, ours did because I don't know, they just did apple. I mean, not in bottles, but when they were older, like out of cups. But now the kids hardly get any juice. But
oh, Carolyn Lambert.
Oh,
Good day from South Australia. So it's in wintertime, and she wanted to let us know that they have baby lambs being born on the farm. Twins and triplets. Oh my goodness, Carolyn.
That's cool.
Can you send us pictures? Are you on Instagram? Can you tag us so we can see? Or what's your name on Instagram? Oh, that sounded pretentious of me. Carolyn, if you're on Instagram, what's your name? Can we follow you? I want to see these triplets. So cute.
Connie says she told her husband they need a summer home in Alaska.
Okay, my husband would not be down for that. He is grumbling and complaining constantly right now, like because the AC is on and I don't have it very cold at night. I think I turn it all the way up to like 78. It's on a schedule at night. And it's just too warm because if it's 78 at the thermostat on the main floor, you know it's hotter upstairs in those bedrooms. It's just too warm.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy. Good advice. Barb says if you can't put your hand on the road for 5 seconds, then you shouldn't walk your dog. That's something I think a lot of people don't think about. They just think it's good for the animals to be out, but
well,
you can't use your bare feet. That's right.
So
shady places, shady places.
Yep.
Keep a wet bandana in the freezer and put it around the dog's neck.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Great idea.
That is a good idea.
See, look at all this assistance you're getting, Noelle, in your babysitting.
I know, but she's going home tomorrow. So, but her and Ross are outside right now. Bonding. No, I mean she's a really good dog, but I mean you can tell that she's not used to being here, and she wants to sleep on the bed on top of my hair, and I'm like, no,
on your hair?
Not happening. Yes, like the other night, the first night she jumped up, she's on top of my pillow and she's walking on the top of my hair, and I was like, no, this is not happening. So
okay, when I go to bed, this hair has to be up in a knot. I can't stand my own hair touching me at night, so it has to be up in a bun on the top of my head. I just do not like to be touched by my hair when I'm sleeping.
Well, this summer is like new for me, having hair that's long, and when it's down, and I'll sometimes feel a stray strand like on my arm. I think it's a bug or something, and I'm going. It's a weird feeling because I'm not used to it.
Oh, Catherine says that we just have severe thunderstorm warnings listed here in Sarnia Lambton.
Oh. Well, originally they had called. They said it was supposed to like possibly rain this afternoon, and then it didn't. And I mean, there's always chance for thunderstorms when it gets this hot.
So why we were in Guelph, can't speak now. We were in Guelph last Friday, and I was invited to go with my soon-to-be daughter-in-law to pick up her wedding dress and have the first fitting. So it was a lot of fun, and her dress is gorgeous. And it conveniently happened to be next door to a yarn shop. So that was super fun too. But when we were driving home from Guelph, torrential rains. And I was so thrilled that I was not driving in that. You know, it's like driving in a snowstorm. I don't know if anybody else does this, but when I'm driving and it's a snowstorm, I lean closer to the windshield. You think you're going to see better the closer you get to the windshield? It was awful. But, Dawn even says there's a big storm on the radar coming up.
Oh.
In my area in the next half an hour.
In your area? That's all your internet needs.
Yeah.
You better power up all your devices, Kelly.
That'll be the death knell for it. Everything's on surge protector, so hopefully you don't fry anything. A few years ago, the house across the street got hit by lightning, and it took out our TV and a few other things too. And we weren't home at the time. We were away somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, our son was here at the house, keeping house. And actually, I think we were in Sedona in Arizona, and he calls us a little bit after the fact because it took everything out, right? But then he finally got a cell signal, and he said, oh my gosh, there was the loudest bang and the house shook, and there was like fire trucks are across the street. But he sent a picture before he did that call. So all we saw were fire trucks and a house and everything. And we're like, is he telling us that our house is on fire? But it all worked well. It didn't work out so well for them, I guess, but okay. Barb says it will be sweater weather for her for the next 2 days.
Wow.
That was kind of nice when we had that couple of days of sweater weather in the
Oh, was that, what day was that? Saturday?
Friday. It was Friday.
Okay. Because we were at a cottage in between Grand Bend and Bayfield, and we didn't get any rain at all.
Well, it was crazy. And you
I know,
would
like,
think
it's amazing when you're not that really that far apart, that one area is like totally dry, and like
and
it
then
was
we would
wind,
kind
it
of
was
drive
windy.
out of we would sort of drive out of the cell a little bit, and then we would just get hit by another one. It was like
Okay.
waves of cells. It was crazy.
Well, my son
Crazy.
that we're watching his dog, he's up at a cottage in Muskoka and on Georgian Bay actually, and he said it rained there all day yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yep. So, because I mean, we're like, it was like super hot and pool weather here. So just never know. Just trying to read things here. It's hard when this is when when the reading is that far away.
Turn the radio down, Dawn is saying. What's this all about?
Turn the radio down.
I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. Turn the radio down. I like to go storm chasing when, Dawn says there's one headed for Sarnia too. Could be a good night.
It's still sunny right now, but I can't see if there's clouds over in the background or.
I wouldn't know down here. My bomb shelter of a basement.
Anyway.
What have you been knitting on this week?
Dawn says when you're driving in a storm and lean forward.
Oh,
you have to turn the radio down. That's why. Okay. I hate driving in a storm. I hate it. The last time that I drove in a storm was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, a bad storm. And I had taken my little great niece, who was like 5. I had taken her to a friend of mine's trailer to spend the day, and we were coming back. It was dark, and the minute we started driving back, it just poured. And it was so humid too that, your windows keep fogging up.
Yes.
So you got the wipers going as fast as you can. I've got the air conditioning on to keep the windows from fogging up. And when I finally got her home, the poor little thing was freezing because I had it so cold in the car. And she never complained once, but it was just the only time you could actually see anything is when you went under an overpass.
Yes.
And you had no rain.
There were so many cars pulled off the side of the road when we were driving home, and they weren't even just like on the right side of the road. There were people that were on the median, like where the concrete barriers are, pulled off. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's so dangerous. But
well, it's even if you pull over to the side, it's dangerous. Like it's unless I guess if you've got all your flashers on, but it's almost more dangerous to stop than to try and keep.
Yes,
but it's
we had the flashers on, but she was keeping a good pace. I'm just glad I wasn't driving. Yeah. I don't like that.
No.
But
was it still daytime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was so bad. Like I took a little video of it and I sent it home to Mike. Just tell him what we were driving through. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You couldn't see at all. Mary's talking about forest fires. Are there any near you, Mary? I was wondering about that too for when we head out there next week. I know we were out there another year when there were forest fires, and the first day we got there, the weather was beautiful. The next day, the weather was beautiful. And then like within 3 or 4 days, you literally could hardly see like into the next neighborhood. It had smoked in so badly, and there was no fire near them. It was just the smoke.
Yeah.
So.
Sarah
Valerie, go ahead.
Sarah says that one of her worst drives was during Christmas holiday on the 402. Fog as thick as soup, could barely follow the tail lights of a transport. I know, it's like, I just like driving in nice weather. I don't care if it's raining, as long as it's not that rain that's so hard that you can't see out the.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a time when we were driving like that in Nova Scotia, and the rain was coming down so fast that you were hydroplaning really, because the roads couldn't get the water away fast enough, and that's scary. So yeah, everybody's talking about their dogs being afraid of thunder. I guess I'll find out whether Kai is afraid of thunder tonight.
We went to the fireworks the other night, and the kids walked down with us, and they brought the dogs. And there's like, I know that I live in a teeny tiny little hamlet of a town, Courtright, but on July the 4th, because we're on a river with the US, the American side puts on a massive fireworks display, and it's off of a barge, and it's just incredible because it's in the river, and we have so many people. It's the biggest night of the year in Courtright. I don't know, there are hundreds and hundreds of people that come to this. So anyway, we always walk down to the river, and they brought their dogs, and I thought, this is probably not a great idea, but my son's argument was he wants them to always be familiar with the sound of fireworks so that they're not afraid. Remy, he's the oldest, he's 3 now. He was like an old man. It was hilarious. We were standing, and he positioned himself right between my legs and kind of sat on my feet. And he stayed there the entire time. He just wanted to have somebody like close to him, but he wasn't shaking or anything. But it was the funniest thing because he was actually watching the fireworks. They had his head tilted up at the sky, and we were laughing about that because it just looked so cute. Lola, on the other hand, the pup, she's 6 months. She was clueless. She wasn't afraid. She could care less. Alex was standing there, and she had a handful of little treats that she kept feeding her. And so everything went well. But
yep, good. So,
oh, Mary, I have a friend whose birthday is on the 4th of July as well. And she always goes down to the fireworks. And I always say, look, Marianne, look what they've done for you. You're so lucky. It's such a beautiful fireworks display. Happy birthday, Mary. Happy belated birthday. 29 years young, I hear. So Sarah had fireworks going on for a long time, or several days in her neighborhood. I know where my daughter lives in Delta, BC. It is, it's a very Indian ethnic neighborhood, and they celebrate, I hope I'm saying it right, they celebrate Diwali, and they celebrate it with a lot of fireworks, and it goes on for a week. Her oldest dog is terrified of fireworks, so it's his worst week of the year. He spends a week being miserable. Every little sound sets him off. He's a pit bull, might I add, and afraid of his own shadow. So terrified of the fireworks.
Well, that's even up at the cottage that we were at. And the first day we were there was the first. There were fireworks every night, first, second, third, like every night that we were there. And they didn't start them off till like, I don't know, it was like late for me. It was 11:30.
What were you even awake for?
That's
you
late.
would already be in bed with your earplugs, wouldn't you?
But it woke me up. They were loud enough that it woke me up. But actually the one was like, we could see the fireworks out the bedroom window. It was actually really pretty. So
Valerie was saying that she's working on a cardigan. I missed it. Is it the Jones cardigan? It's cabled, modified to have a Celtic cable in the back. And OMG, these rows. Well, Valerie, hats off to you if you're able to do that while listening and trying to follow this conversation, because I couldn't do that. I
knit like 3 stitches.
I've knit that whole gray row, but I have to have very simple things to work on when I'm hanging out with everybody.
Yeah. So you want to know what I was working on this week? I did my shift cowl. But then I'm also working on the sample knit for Little Red Mitten, which is the Mid Coast by Jennifer Steingast. So I'm done. I just this morning finished the yoke. So I think I've got maybe an inch or so to knit, and then I split for the sleeves. So I think it looks really nice, but the colors are close. And so the color work is very subtle. Like so much so that I found you had to have good light to knit it so you could see the difference in the 2 colors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it something you can show us or no?
Let me see. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see the pattern, but let me grab it.
Valerie, good for you. Committing 20 minutes every day on the cardigan. That's a great way to do it. Set a time limit on something that's a tricky knit.
Okay. So I don't know if you're really going to be able to see it. See, it's really...
Oh, no, I can see it.
It's pretty.
I like it. I really like it.
So, and I just had this is just the gold up here is just a lifeline that I put in case it wasn't going to work out. But yeah, so I'm all done the color work now. And then the
Will that
body
be around
is just
the wrists or the waist or anything? Okay.
When you go down to the wrist is actually going to end up in that deep. This is the Leo and Roxy basic. So it's the overnight oats is the main color, and then the Leo is the white, and then the purple is the something aubergine.
Aubergine. I like it. I really like it.
So the sleeves end with the aubergine kind of on a rolled cuff.
Okay.
With some of the white, and then the body's just plain. So it's not going to take me. It's probably only going to take me maybe a week to finish it up because it's just mostly plain knitting now. But I find with Kaya here, with the dog here, like normally in my projects we'll be sitting and I'll pick it up and do a few rows. Well, I don't know what she's going to do to knitting, so everything has to go back in the bag and get zippered up. So, but yeah, I think it feels nice. So, yeah. But it's when you're knitting it and it's close, it's hard to see those. You have to be really conscious of the two colors to see them. But I think it's once it's blocked out and flat, you'll see it more, like the pattern.
Yeah,
more.
I think it's really pretty.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
So
what sweater are you wearing tonight too?
This is my bathing suit cover up.
You're wearing your bikini underneath?
No, I'm wearing them. Are you kidding? It's a one piece underneath, but this is what is it? It was the Cancun Boxy or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Ravelry and it's free, but I just kind of used it as a base. So all I did was I started at the bottom and I knit up and picked out like a whole bunch of different lace patterns and just knit up the one side. And I didn't write them down. So then when I was doing the other side, I'm like, okay, what did I do there? But then I just knit the other side exactly the same. Sewed them partway up. It's 100% cotton. It's perfect for a cover up. And
I really like it.
And I mean, I throw it in the washing machine. So it's just like, it's probably a cotton that's, I would say it's probably a sport weight cotton. I think it was called Anne, the cotton, but I can't remember. It was a long time ago that I made it.
It wasn't by Cottonlicious?
No, this one is not Cottonlicious. No.
So from here on out, we'll be able to say, hey, remember that time Noelle wore a bathing suit to knit that?
That's right. Well, I was going to go in the pool after we were done here, but maybe not if there's going to be a thunderstorm.
What was the name of the sweater pattern that you're test knitting again?
Oh, it's Mid-Coast.
Mid-Coast. Okay.
Yeah. It's very pretty, and it's pretty basic color work. There are 8 rows in the top that you carry 3 colors across the row, and the rest of it is all 2 colors. So
I find she's very good about that with her color work. She is conscious of longer floats, and her sweaters generally have shorter runs in them, which it's good, especially for people maybe that are not as confident with their color work and they think, that it's going to be an issue. Shorter runs are always easier to maintain if you're a little float fearful.
Yeah, like this down here, where the burgundy, right? I think there was like 9 stitches or something in between those two. I just carried it all as one long float because you know how when you catch it, you can sometimes see the color behind a little bit.
Yeah.
So because it was such a dark color, I didn't want to catch it. I didn't want to see that on the other side. But I think once I block that out, it'll be fine. And it's not like it's a baby sweater where you have to worry about a baby putting hands through it or so. And then at the top, there was a section where there was 9 stitches, but you were just doing the cream color. And so that I caught because the colors there are so close that you really can't see in behind. But I find the worst for catching floats is if your background is light and you're carrying a dark color across the row, that's when you're more likely to see it when you catch that in behind. And I know there are ways where you can kind of do this, like kind of like a chain thing down where you can catch the floats in that as opposed to having to tack them to the fabric.
Yes.
I've never done that, and I've not tried it. I've watched a tutorial on it, but I haven't been brave enough to try it.
Okay.
So, and I don't think you would necessarily do it if it was just one row that you had. It'd only be if there was a big section where you were carrying colors, like in between, say you had 4 or 5 rounds where you were carrying a color, like maybe 9 or 10 stitches or something. Like you might not want to catch it every time. So
I just knit where I should have purled. Pluck it out. Do it again.
Oh, Sarah said she's going to Little Red Mitten on Thursday, and she's excited to go into a knitting store.
I did not realize how much I had missed it until I was in one last week, and I could have just spent hours just walking and squishing and walking and squishing, and I didn't want to leave. Well, I didn't leave empty-handed. That's for sure.
When I went for the first time with Rachel 2 weeks ago, I couldn't even buy anything because I could not make up my mind. It was like overwhelming.
Sensory overload.
Yes.
All the yarn.
And your heart's beating like this before you go into the store.
I know.
Anyway.
Somebody was talking about...
Oh, Sarah's going to look for a contrast color for her Guthrie, which she's already ripped out twice. Are you doing it just in 2 solid colors, Sarah? Or are you doing it in, like, are you going to have your contrast color like a variegated color? Because I know when I did mine, my background was solid, and then the color work all over that was one that I did do with Spin Cycle. So.
Somebody was earlier talking about the Garden Gate too. Also a Jennifer Stein-Gass pattern. That may be my favorite personal sweater that I have knit. I love that sweater. I reach for it again and again and again. I mean, partially it's the pattern, but partially it's the yarn I chose that I really like, but I do love that pattern. And I've seen it done both ways, like where that Garden Gate is the lighter color in the sweater. And then I did the alternate. I did a very light color for the sweater. And then my Garden Gate is like a deep, deep navy, like a wrought iron. And I like that too. But I love that sweater. The sweater, her patterns are really, they're a good fit. They're comfortable to wear. And she often does like that little bit of a rolled neck. So that's less ribbing for me. And I like that. So,
well, even this one, like it's got ribbing, but it's only like, I think it's only like 6 rows or something. So, but that sweater, the mid coast too, where she's got it shown on hers, she's done it with like a dark gray as the background and then had the lighter colors through and it's amazing how different a sweater can look depending on the way you put the colors in.
That's right.
But, I mean, I like them both, but it doesn't even almost look like the same sweater when you get it reversed like that, which is nice because when you're knitting your own sweater, you don't want it to look like everyone else's, right? So.
Oh, some Ewa mentions that the thing you were talking about is called the ladder back jacquard.
Okay. Yeah, I know I've watched something on it, but I just haven't. One of these days I'll try it. But Kathy says her Garden Gate is on Sleeve Island. Kathy, I have a lot of sweaters on there with it. Still. Oh well, they'll get done. Once I get this sweater finished, then I think I'm gonna do some sleeves. Maybe. Mary says her Dark Water, Dark Waters by Jennifer Stein-Gass was a lot of fun. It is, and it's so nice to do that. It's so nice to do the yoke and see everything developing, and then when you get to the bottom, you've just got plain knitting. Although I think she does some of hers bottom up.
Yes, I think
Yep.
she does have a couple of bottom up. Janie wants to know if Rachel enjoyed the trip to Little Red Mitten.
Yes, she did.
And what did she get?
It was her first real. Well, she got the. She's so nice. She got sock yarn to do like Curtis a pair of socks, and then she got the yarn for the baby sweater.
And nothing for herself.
No, I don't think she did. I don't think she did. She got
Why aren't we that selfless, Noelle? Why? Why aren't we that selfless? I bought yarn for you at All Strung Out, and yarn for me. That's terrible. I didn't think of other people.
Hi, Kaya. Oh, someone came to say hi to me. She had to come in because there's thunder out there.
What kind of a dog is Kaya?
She looks like Santa's little helper of Simpsons.
Oh.
She's a rescue dog. She is a rat terrier, I think.
Oh, can you pick her up?
But
can
she really looks like a miniature lab. Kaya, she left. Kaya, come here. No, she's gone to eat now. I can hear
Valerie
her pushing her bowl around.
Having a conversation about a podcast that was really good for her, that made her laugh when she didn't remember that she could. I missed who we're talking about, Valerie. Is it somebody that I need to watch that I don't watch yet? Let me in on that one. And I'm glad you're feeling better. Everybody needs to laugh.
Yep.
I mostly just laugh at myself.
Yeah. Tracy said Zelda T has a video on that technique.
Okay.
So that's good. Susan says she likes Plutalopi for sweaters. I bought some Plutalopi, but I still haven't used it yet.
I know. I keep getting intrigued by it. And then I keep thinking that I want to knit with it. I've watched some podcasts. I think it's The Gentle Knitter, and she uses it quite a bit. And fairy tales, is that the it's like on your phone when you don't know somebody's number because you have them saved in your phone. And I'm like that with podcasts too. Well, they're on my subscription list. So I'll go down. I'm like, oh, they've got something new. They've got something new. I don't remember the name. Fiber Tales. It's Fiber Tales.
Okay.
Yes. And she uses Plutalopi a lot.
Well,
Valerie
I'll get to it. Oh, Tracy said it's very rustic, Kelly.
It's very rustic.
Maybe you won't use it.
Thanks, Trace. First, my Plutalopi bubble.
Yeah. Oh, Majo says her daughter's rescue dog is a beagle rat terrier. Like she's a really good dog. She does look like a miniature lab, but I'm pretty sure that that's what she is a rat terrier. And I think she was actually a rescue dog from Louisiana.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, yep.
Okay, so Valerie was talking about the
okay, so Jose says she
okay.
I think
she likes Plutalopi for sweaters.
Yep. Yeah, Jose says she tried it for the first time this month, hoping for a trip to Algonquin. But she says she loved it and she'll knit with it again and again.
Okay.
Oh, Ewa has a rescue dog too. Oh yeah, and I knew Woolly Thistle does have Plutalopi too. And I think there was a place out. Tracy got some out. I think it was West Coast Color. I know that Tracy got it. She held hers with mohair, so that'll soften it up if you do that, Kelly.
No, it doesn't, because she's still raining all over the parade. She goes, held with mohair and still ... Sorry, Kelly.
Still. Oh, well.
It doesn't look that rustic. Okay, maybe I think Fiber Tales is from Europe. Maybe they're just more rusticy people, because every time she makes a sweater, she goes, Oh, it's very nice. It's light, it's flowy, it's not too warm. It's a nice layering sweater. It looks super soft. It's not though, I guess. Okay. Well,
Well, I guess it just depends what you can tolerate next to your skin. So, oh, come here, Kai. Everybody wants to say hi to you. Come here. I don't know if I can lift her up. There.
aw.
There. Say hi, Kaya.
Hey, puppy.
Hey.
Oh, hi, puppy.
Yeah, I know. She does like attention. She thinks she's a lap dog, even though she's big. Don't you? Hmm?
I'm
See, she's
concerned.
perfectly happy here.
Yes, all large dogs think they're lap dogs. That's the first thing when Damon comes over and he's got Remy, and Remy is like, what, a solid 80 pounds now, maybe? He'll look at me.
Yeah.
He wants me to sit in a certain chair so that he can jump up into my lap, and he bruises me. He's got like those bony dog elbows and everything, and I get bruises on my legs and everything from him. But I'm really worried. Like I say, I'm worried. I'm not worried, but I'm worried about the mauling we're going to get when we go to BC because we haven't seen our grandpuppies. It'll be a year and a half since we've been able to travel there.
Mhm.
And they are just going to lose. They're going to lose their shift. I'm telling you, they're going to go nuts because they get so excited when we come to visit. And I can't even imagine.
Well, they probably
It's
haven't seen that. They probably haven't seen that many people either.
No, and they're sick to death of their parents, I'm sure by now. So yeah,
anyways, a
I'm
couple of
so
people
excited.
here
I'm so excited to go.
a couple of people here were talking about how their dogs nursed kittens.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of dogs?
Go
Did she
back,
say?
go back. Okay, so Marianne said she had an Australian Kelpie, and at 9
Okay.
months old, she nursed 6 kittens.
Okay. There's a question for you too. Jose just finished a sweater with Coast from Holst Garn. Have you made a sweater with the Coast yet?
Yep.
She said after walking, it got larger and shorter, and her water is cold. Do you have any comments on that?
I did the which one did I do? The Tenya by Caitlin Hunter, and I think that it's been washed twice, and I just block it back to the shape, and it's been fine. It still fits the way it did the first time. So
Okay.
So she must mean it must be getting larger than width-wise and shorter. So I don't know if you like I don't ever put them in the washer or the dryer. I just soak them, squeeze out water, and roll them in a towel, and then I block them back out to the shape. And I haven't had a problem with it. So
okay.
But that's
So
the only sweater the only sweater I have with the Coast.
Okay.
So
I haven't used that one yet. But we have lots. Well, no, I don't have Coast. I didn't get.
you got some Coast. No, you got Coast. You got Coast.
I got super soft. Lots of
you
it.
Got super, yeah, the super
and it's
soft.
not super soft.
I know. The non-soft, super soft. You got Coast because I think because you were looking at baby sweaters, maybe.
Yes. Okay. So. Jose says that is exactly what she does. Well, that's strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you try Jose when you lay it down? Do you pull it out lengthwise again a little bit? Maybe the Coast has a lot of cotton, right? It's a wool cotton, right?
Mm-hmm. Or try pinning it if it's not staying. Like try pinning it when it's drying to the length. I know that's a pain if you have to do that every time you wash the sweater bit. But no, mine's been okay. So
she even unraveled one and added a few inches.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Sorry, Jose. I have nothing to offer on that.
I
That's
don't know if you put something on, if you go into Ravelry, if you put something in on Ravelry or go and look, because I think there's been a lot of projects made with Coast. So a lot of
mhm.
times if you go into that yarn and look at the comments and see if anybody else has had that experience, like if not, post yours in there and you might get replies from some people as far as what they've experienced with it. So the only other thing that I've knit with the Coast is the European road trip shawl. And that I wouldn't really notice whether it changed like lengthwise or widthwise because it's just a long shawl.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
but anyways, Kelly, we should probably, it's starting to get a little rumbly here. So,
You just want to get that swim in, don't you?
and darn, I don't think I'm going out there. Get ready to hear thunder.
Okay. Well, I have to finish this. I have to do that cable. It's a cable. I'm not leaving that in the
What are
middle.
you doing? What are you knitting? Is it a sock?
Sock. Toe up.
Oh, the bingo socks.
Yeah, my pride
Okay.
socks clearly
Yeah,
didn't
those are
get
pretty.
finished in the month of June, right? So, but anyway.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
get these finished. So that's my
They're so
second
pretty.
sock of those. I know, I really like it. And then I got to get started. I found a new pattern, or I saw someone on a podcast that just did a pattern. It was a free pattern by Biscott, and I think it was called either sugar wafers or candy wafers, and it was really pretty. And one of the sock sets that I got from Rose Hill, I think will look really pretty with it. And the heel on it is like a checkerboard heel. So it's like your variegated color with your main color or your contrast color. So it looked really cute. So I'm going to try that for something different. So
Oh, no, Barb, before we go. No, I didn't get my bingo prize yet. Those are the socks that I started on the bingo day. It's not my prize. It's a fabric prize that I have. So I haven't gotten it yet. So, okay. Well, we're going to try this again next Tuesday just because, we're suckers for punishment apparently.
yeah,
I swear.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe we'll be together next Tuesday. Maybe we'll try that. We haven't tried that in a while. Maybe we'll try that. So, and then after that, we're going to get really adventurous because I'll be in BC on that week. And we are going to attempt a live stream from my daughter's house in BC.
You never know. Maybe her internet will be better, Kelly.
I bet it might very well be, knock on wood, but it may very well be the best stream we ever do. So crazy. Hard to say.
Yeah.
And Sarah might be on her patio.
Okay. Actually, last night I listened to Louise on her podcast, Wildflower Wool, and I was sitting outside, and it was by 8:00 at night. It was gorgeous out to sit outside, and it was really nice. But I will not be sitting outside tonight.
Okay.
Wait till you go upstairs. It's gotten a lot darker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fun. So, all right. Well, good night, everybody.
Thanks everybody
so much for joining us. And sorry for the technical difficulties again. This is a standard apology.
But we want to make sure that it matches our T-shirt when we get the T-shirt made.
That's right.
We can't be perfect and get a hot mess T-shirt
or a hot yarny mess. That's right. Okay. Take care, everybody.
Okay.
Happy knitting.
Bye, everybody.
Be safe.
Yeah. Bye.